Alright, so I've got a very interesting topic lined up for you today, which is Amazon PPC versus Facebook ads for launching your product and generally just growing your business. Now, I see this question all the time in the Facebook group, in comment section, just in any kind of forum really, where people are discussing, should I use Facebook ads to launch my product? Is it a good way? There's millions of customers on Facebook. Is that going to bring me extra sales? Going to help me rank on Amazon? Now today I want to answer that question. I want to give my opinion on the two, why one's better than the other, and hopefully that can help you make your decision on how you're going to launch your product. So without any further ado guys, let's get into this video. Now, I think for the vast majority of us, when we go to launch our products, we're going to be using Amazon PPC. Now, for those of you who don't already know what that is, PPC or Amazon's PPC advertising is simply Amazon's way of advertising your product on their website. So you can bid on certain keywords. So for example, if we're selling a foam roller, then we can target the keyword foam roller and make our product show on the first page for that keyword. Likewise, we can make our product show in other competitors' listings. We can make our product show at the very top of the search results if you have A+ content. You can make your product show all over Amazon in different categories, on people's listings, on different keywords, to try and get more sales and visibility for your product. Because when you first list your product on Amazon, you're going to be on page 2, 3, 400 where no one's ever going to find your product. So Amazon's PPC can be a great way to get your product to page 1 on a sponsored listing, so that hopefully people will click your product, they'll purchase your product, bringing up your sales and hence ranking you higher. Now, with Amazon's PPC, that basically stands for pay per click. So every time someone is clicking on your listing, then you are paying for that. And normally that bid might be maybe £1, £1.20, could be 50p, but it's normally in that kind of range when people are clicking on your listing. So the issue that comes from this is you need to be very, very kind of optimized for your PPC, not necessarily when you're launching a product, but especially down the line when you've launched a product and it gets to page 1, you need to make sure your PPC is actually making you money. Now, the way we do this is by looking at your ACoS, which is your advertising cost of sale. Now, by looking at this, for example, if we was to have a ACoS of 10%, then if we have a £10 product, an ACoS of 10% would mean we're spending £1 on PPC for every sale we get. Now, that isn't too bad. That's fairly optimized. It could be lower, but that's definitely healthy. When you consider that most people's margins are around 30%, you're spending around a quarter of your budget on advertising. Now, obviously, not all of your sales are going to be coming from PPC. You're going to be getting some organic sales as well. So overall, that PPC cost might dilute down to maybe 5, 6, 7% or even lower. So overall, that's a very good PPC cost, and the vast majority of people will be using PPC to launch their products, and you can just launch your product using PPC. It's the most popular way to do it, it's probably the easiest way to do it, and it's the way that most people do it. Now, how do we actually compare this to Facebook ads? Well, to me, Facebook ads are a completely different beast. They're almost like a complete topic on your own. If you think about learning how to sell on Amazon and that whole process, you've kind of got a similar amount of information to learn how to sell on Facebook, because it's just so broad and so vast. You need to learn about writing good copy, about pattern interruptions, about the type of pictures that will make people read it. And that's very, very different from the type of things you might have learned doing listings on Amazon. Because on Facebook, your keyword research and how you might write a listing on Amazon is not going to work on Facebook. People aren't going to read a good title on Amazon and they wouldn't read that same thing on Facebook. It's not going to work. You need to stop people in their pattern, and you need to try and sell your product more than you're trying to rank for keywords. So they're very, very different things. And especially with the pictures you're using on Amazon, you cannot take your main hero shot on Amazon and use that on Facebook. It's not going to work. No one's going to stop on your listing. No one's going to click on it. In fact, you may even need to create like a little kind of 30-second video about your product, about it in use, about the key features in this kind of creative video for that to work on Facebook. So there's a great deal of work and understanding that needs to come before you can even start Facebook ads. And to be honest, we haven't even gotten to the ads section of that yet. That's just the creative and well, the creative, for those of you who don't know, it's just the writing and the pictures. That's just the creative part. We haven't actually gotten to the ads yet, which again are even more complicated. You don't just target keywords, you target things like locations, you target interests, these type of things that aren't as targeted to your product. Now, if you're selling, I don't know, a very generic product, like, for example, if you're selling a lamp, how would you target a lamp to people on Facebook? What kind of things would you target? Because you can target keywords, you can target locations, you could target interests, and I don't think many people's interests are lights. So the way to target on Facebook is very, very different to Amazon, and it's much, much harder to do that. Now, I'm not saying that people are very, very successful advertising on Facebook. It's the biggest advertising platform in the world, I think. Probably, well, definitely one or two next to Google or YouTube. So obviously people are very, very successful on Facebook advertising their products. But for me personally, when I'm launching my product on Amazon, I'm going to have maybe a 30% margin, and I'll be lucky to get that launching a product just on Amazon. When you're thinking that people are on Amazon to buy products, the only reason they go onto that platform is to buy products, and they are literally searching right for your product, and you can advertise to those people looking to buy your product. Now, if you cannot get a good return on investment when you're launching a product for people who are looking to buy your product, how can you expect to get that on Facebook? People are not on Facebook to buy a yoga mat. They're not on Facebook to buy a light or a lamp or any of those type of things. They're not on Facebook to do that. So for you to actually stop them in their pattern, for them to read your copy, for them to look at your creative, for those people then to go off of Facebook onto your landing page, to put in their email, to put in all their credit card information, to buy your product, to me is very, very, very unlikely when they can buy at Amazon at the click of a button. All the information is already there. They're already looking for your product, and yet still you're probably getting a very high ACOS just on Amazon when they're looking for your product. So to me, I don't think Facebook is a very good way to launch your product when you're first starting, because it takes an extreme level of understanding and expertise to even get slightly good at Facebook ads. And I've put probably a couple of £1,000 into Facebook ads in the past. I've got many courses on Facebook ads. I've done a lot of research on Facebook ads, and I still don't think I'm very good at Facebook ads. I still wouldn't do it myself, to be honest. So Facebook ads in themselves are very complicated. There's lots of information that goes into it. So personally for me, I think there's so much that goes into it that I just wouldn't personally touch that for a second. There's so much information to know on PPC and how to master that and how to master launching your product that people don't understand, that you don't need to then go into Facebook and try and learn all of that, because to be honest, I think you're going to spread yourself too thin. You're going to spread yourself over Facebook ads and PPC and going all over the place, and it's just shiny object syndrome, really. One person's going to pop up an advertisement on Facebook saying that, oh, Facebook ads is the way to launch your product. And to be honest, it's just not for me. I don't think it's going to work. I don't think it's the best way for you to launch your product. And I think you're going to lose money doing it. Now, again, this isn't saying that people haven't done it in the past, but for me, I just don't think it's a very good idea. Now, compare this to not launching your product and actually having a product that's selling well on Amazon. Maybe you have a brand on Amazon and you're selling multiple products in a niche and you want to try and expand that. Well, first of all, I would just look to Europe and those kind of expansion offers where people, again, are already looking for your product, and you can access more customers already looking for your product on a platform that's based around selling products. Now, to me, that's the obvious way to grow, but you may want to look into that point at going into Facebook ads because you've already got established product, you've already got a very good established margin, maybe an established brand, and now you could look to expand on Facebook by creating a landing page, collecting emails, and trying to build your brand bigger. Now, this is a different story. It might be easier to do that. You're already established on Amazon. You're making money from Amazon that you can invest into Facebook ads, and it won't be as big of a loss for you losing money on PPC and Facebook ads at the same time when trying to launch your product. So this is kind of a different scenario, but still, I think you have to have a very, very big understanding of Facebook ads to try and even attempt to do this. Because if you're selling a product, if we use the same example as before, if you're selling a product for £10 and your margin is £30, you have £3 to spend on advertising before you're losing money. Now, to spend £3 on advertising on Facebook to try and sell, I don't know, for example, a foam roller, people aren't there to buy your product. So to have that low of an advertising cost to sell a product, I think it's going to be very difficult for you to make any type of profit advertising on Facebook. Now, I could be wrong. Building an email list has many benefits. It will make you money on the back end. If you launch future products, you might be able to sell to the same audience of people, and it's going to get easier for you. But in my opinion, it's just not the way to go, and I just don't recommend it. But you may have different opinions. You may be very successful with Facebook ads. You may have a product that's more suited to Facebook ads. For example, products that are in the fitness niche like yoga mats and exercise bands and things like that, they're much easier to target. You can target people interested in fitness, in those types of things, but some products, they just don't have that same targeting potential on Facebook, in my opinion. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. You've learned something about the two advertising platforms being Amazon PPC and Facebook ads, and you can now make your own informed decision on how best to launch your product and how best to hopefully grow your brand in the future. Now, if you're looking to sell on Amazon step by step and you want a program that's going to teach you how to do that from start to finish, of course, including everything about finding your product and PPC, and even a bit about Facebook ads, then check out the AZ Academy. The first link in the description. It will come with my complete personal support, and I guarantee you will not be disappointed. So with that said, guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Give it a subscribe, click the bell notification right next to that big subscribe button, And of course, thumbs up, leave a comment down below what you've thought, any suggestions for future videos. I really appreciate absolutely all of it. Honestly, I do. If you could go down and leave a comment below, you have no idea how much that means to me. So really appreciate it, guys. Hope you've enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one.